Hey guys, what's up? Today we're going to talk about enriching our dogs' lives and how we can create an environment for our dogs that's fulfilling, engaging, and meets their natural canine needs. Be sure to stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to share with you an enrichment idea that's been super popular with my dogs, and best of all, it's completely free. I'm Erica Pasha with the Kind Canine. Let's get to it. So the first thing we need to cover is, what is enrichment? Enrichment, or mental stimulation, is a set of activities that are centered around the fulfillment of a dog's core instinctual needs, and the human can be passively or actively involved. So, why is enrichment a necessary and vitally important part of your dog's life? Enrichment opportunities provide constructive outlets for our dog's natural behaviors that would otherwise be considered nuisance behaviors. Providing enrichment is the easiest way to combat unwanted behavior that your dog is showing. That jumping, high-energy, demand-barking, mouthing kind of behavior you're seeing, enrichment is usually the first and best solution. So let's talk a little bit about natural dog behaviors. What might those include? Well, they could include sniffing, barking, digging, scavenging, foraging, chewing. All of these things are things that come naturally to dogs. Dogs living their day-to-day in the human world, they don't really get a chance to do this normal dog stuff. Sometimes they make these jobs for themselves that most people would classify as misbehaving, like chewing up your couch or your favorite pair of shoes. If we provide safe outlets for these behaviors, we will see much less of the unwanted behaviors in our homes. Species-appropriate enrichment activities fill these needs that would otherwise go unfilled, preventing behavioral problems right at the source. Mental stimulation also takes a large amount of brain power. Think about reading a really good book or doing a nice long crossword puzzle. Don't you usually feel a little tired afterward? The same thing happens to our dogs. A comprehensive mental enrichment routine is just as important as a physical exercise regimen. A word of caution though, over-exercising your dog is not a replacement for mental stimulation. A tired dog does not necessarily mean a content dog. A tired dog who's simply too tired to misbehave is not having their needs met, but is instead experiencing extreme exhaustion, and nobody likes that. So let's take a second to talk about how we can provide all of these opportunities for enrichment. There are so many things that we can do. One of my favorite things to do for my dogs is to take one day out of the week and prep a whole lot of stuffed Kongs. When I stuff my Kongs, I like to put a variety of different fillings inside them because nobody likes to eat the same thing all the time. Some things I like to use to stuff my dog's Kongs regularly are rehydrated, freeze-dried food. You can get them in like little flakes in a great big bag. You can use canned dog food if they really like a certain variety. Or you can go a different route. You could do peanut butter, mashed banana, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese. I know some people who use string cheese or cheddar cheese. A lot of dogs really like cheese. But the most important part of stuffing your Kongs is to rotate your fillings. Don't fill them with the same thing every time. I change it up about every 2 weeks. It keeps my dogs on their toes. One last thing about Kongs though, make sure that you scale it appropriately for your dog. If they've never done a Kong before, don't stuff it as much as you can and then freeze it. They won't be able to solve that problem right away. You might start by first smearing just a little bit of peanut butter on the top of the Kong so the dog can have success and build confidence with the puzzle. Then your next step might be to put it a little farther into the Kong and put some kibble or some biscuit pieces with it so that they have to really lick to get all the stuff inside. The last steps are to mash all of the stuff into the Kong as much as you can, and then if your dog is really good at it, you can stick it in the freezer. This makes Kongs last up to 30 minutes with my dogs, and it can really give me a few minutes just to take a load off. Another activity I like to give my dogs regularly is called a snuffle mat. You can find a lot of snuffle mats online. Sometimes they're also called activity mats, and they're all made a little bit differently. Snuffle mats encourage natural foraging behaviors. You're going to sprinkle a little bit of food into the snuffle mat, pushing it under the little bits of fabric, and then I like to put something extra fun on top, like a little bit of Parmesan cheese, or maybe all the crumbs from the bottom of the dog jerky bag. Whatever you can find that your dog really likes, if you sprinkle it on top, it'll make them snuffle for an extra long time. Puzzle toys are another great way that you can provide your dog some enrichment opportunities. They allow your dog to experience some natural problem solving that they would otherwise not really get to do. I always think watching dogs solve puzzle toys is really interesting. They all have a different way of solving it. For example, my dog Chester will take the puzzle toys and he'll drop them off the couch to see if it'll hit the floor and all the food will just pop out. But my other dog, Nia, she likes to just bat it around with her nose and with her paws to try to roll it out. So they both solve problems a little differently. I wouldn't know this about my dogs unless I had given them puzzle toys. It really gives me a little bit of insight into their personalities. One of my most favorite food enrichment activities is a lickimat. Lickimats are the best. The act of licking is a self-soothing behavior for dogs, and it promotes calmness. Licking activities are great from when your dog is feeling a little bit worked up and they just need to take a little break. For example, sometimes my dogs get a little overstimulated when they're playing. They're both Australian Shepherds. It's natural for them. So what I do with them is I'll have them take a break. They'll go to their crates, I'll give them a lickimat, and then they're nice and calm and relaxed for the rest of the evening. So nice. You can spread food all over the lickimats, and then if you really want to add just a little bit of longevity to those lickimats, you can stick them in the freezer and they'll last about 15 minutes with most dogs. 15 minutes of licking can be really tiring, and a lot of the dogs I work with take a good nap afterward. The last food enrichment opportunity that I want to give you guys for your dogs is chewing. Anything that can get your dogs chewing on something constructive rather than something that you don't want them to chew is great. My dogs really like to chew stuff. Some things I like to give them are these rolled up cow cheeks, or I might give them Himalayan yak cheese chews. Those are always really nice. And when they get down to that last little inch, you can take it and microwave it and it'll turn into a cheese puff that your dog can consume a little bit more safely. Some other things I like to give my dogs are raw marrow bones or knuckle bones. Those are both really exciting for them. One small note for chewing activities though, make sure you can supervise. We wouldn't want our dogs to choke on that last little bit of a chew or accidentally swallow a big piece. Not only is that really uncomfortable and unsafe for them, but it's also a really expensive vet bill. So make sure that you can watch and actively supervise when they have something to chew. All of these things are great enrichment activities, but they're all pretty passive. They're things that you give your dog and then you can walk away and have some peace and quiet for yourself. There are things that I like to do with my dogs that enrich their lives just as much, if not more, that actually involve me. These are what I call active enrichment opportunities. One of the first things that I prescribe to my clients when they're starting to implement an enrichment routine is teaching their dogs some new fun tricks. Not only is this fun for the human, but it's also super fun for the dog. Teaching tricks is great for relationship building and for teaching the dog mechanics of training. It can build their confidence in learning new tasks and working alongside you as your partner. It's also perfect for working on your timing as a trainer and for improving your overall communication with your dog. I definitely suggest you start with some fun, cute tricks like spin or sit up. Those are my two favorite ones to start with new clients. Let's say you have a dog that likes to herd or chase. I have two herding breeds of my own, and let me tell you, one of the greatest greatest enrichment activities for them has been the flirt pole. If you don't know what a flirt pole is, it's basically a giant cat teaser for dogs. You can always buy them online, but they're also really easy to make. All you need is a long PVC pipe, some rope, and your dog's favorite toy attached to the end of it. For days when it's too hot or too cold to go outside for a good long run or hike, I'll often go into the backyard with my dogs and play with the flirt pole for 10 or 15 minutes, and trust me, they are tired afterward. I've saved the best for last. My favorite enrichment activity to do with my dogs is a sniffing walk. I take them out into the car, we get into a really remote location, and I either have them on a long leash or they're off leash, so they have lots and lots of room to explore and just be dogs. When we go on sniffing walks, I'm rarely calling my dogs back to me or asking them to do things because I'm giving them the opportunity to be themselves. I want them to sniff and run and chase and explore, and I just want them to have all the freedom to do that. It's also a nice reminder for my husband and I to get out of the house and enjoy the nice weather too. All dogs deserve opportunities to get out and do normal dog stuff, so I highly encourage you to get outside with your dogs and take them for a sniffing walk. Count this as your daily reminder to let your dog stop and sniff the roses. Now, I'll admit I've talked a lot about a bunch of different products in this video, but enrichment doesn't have to be expensive and it doesn't have to be hard. There are a lot of things that you can do right now with the things you have around the house that are easy and quick. If you get creative and you use your dog's natural senses and their natural behaviors that they gravitate to, I guarantee you can find some really cool enrichment ideas for them with just some stuff you have lying around. Okay guys, like I said at the start, I want to share with you an enrichment idea that you can do right now that's at absolutely no cost to you. Our dogs absolutely love the water cookies that we make for them. If you haven't heard of water cookies before, well, I'll just let you see what it is.
Puppy's gonna get water cookies. Monkey already got one. These are our water cookies. Our dogs love them. Here, I'll get Chester. I'll give him his. Oh, what a good boy.
So now you know, enrichment is a vital part of your dog's life and can be a great way for you to build your relationship with your kind canine. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel where you can find more dog training tips to energize and revolutionize your relationship with your dog. Bye for now.